Back up here on the upstairs deck, and in our previous video you guys saw us wrap the columns and our beam in the cedar. It looks fantastic. We also put our Hardy on the band board right here. Jordan Rad painted it. It looks awesome. So by the end of this video, what we want to do is have the wiring in this column that's going to feed the LED lights in our handrail. Can't wait to see that. Put the fourth side on all these posts, stain all the cedar, and have our handrails complete. That's a big order for this video, but by the end of June, we want to be done with this deck because it's already early summer here in Texas. It is brutally hot. We certainly don't want to be out here in July. We want to be inside. So the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to run a wire in this column. I've already routed the groove. We just need to pull it out here and get it in the attic, and then we can finish putting the fourth side on these posts, stain everything. Let's get to work. Very first step for the LED lighting, we got this guy. It's like a multi-tap, and this is going to hide inside the railing, the top rail of the handrail. And this cord is going to go up this channel that I routed. But I got to get this big fat end of this plug up here. So I'm going to extend this groove, kind of flare it out in this post with the multi-tool, or the buzzsaw as we love to call it. Chisel out that little wedge, then drill a 3/4 inch hole from here all the way into our attic space. Shouldn't take long, should be pretty simple. Here we go. All right, I'm ready to drill that hole. I'm gonna go with a 3/4. That's enough room for that plug to go through. Now this is a spade bit, paddle bit, whatever you wanna call it. I have an extension for it because that's pretty deep. I can't find the extension. So I just used an insert bit holder and I taped it, so hopefully I won't lose that in the hole. And I think, Jordan, I want to go up like that at a little bit of an angle. What do you think?
Yep, that's all you can do.
That's all we can do. Let's go. All right, yeah, I'm hitting a nail. I got one nail right here holding this block down, and of course I'm hitting it. So I'm going to go in there with a cat's paw and a hammer, try to get it out, try to extract that nail. But I just noticed this, Jordan. Look at this wasp nest right here. You watch them while I get the nail out, all right? It's gonna be easier just to remove this block than to try to get that one nail out. Check it out. Don't you think?
Yep.
It's just nailed in. It'll make it easier for us to run that wire anyway. Nice. Sometimes you're glad you didn't put in a lot of nails, right? I'd rather have the nails downstairs in the dirt than up here. Boom. I don't know, bud. I might be hitting the SDS screw we used to attach this beam to that post. No, I'm right there. So what it's doing, I can see the point of my spade bit above my beam, but this little cutting edge, I think it's clipping the head of that SDS screw. We're just going to try to work it to the left a little bit. You can't steer these too much, but I don't need much. Beautiful. See that?
Nice.
All right, man. Success.
All right.
We're through up there. Now I got to drill through the corner of this post. Remember, we're going to come down with our power for our LED lights. We're going to split off, power the LED light in this handrail, get through the post, and power through and light up all the LEDs over there. So we've already made our measurement, 37 inches above the ground. I got to mark here and here. I'm just going to drill out an angle and try to connect those two holes. And I have to drill it now because once we put this board on there, it's going to be a lot harder to make that turn. All right, bud, you ready?
Yep.
Standing right on the edge. I think I'm just going to go at a little bit of an angle.
Wait a second. No, you're good.
What? I hate when you do that. All right, now we're going to drill through our board. If it looks like I'm not in the center, I'm not. I'm in the center of it when it's assembled, including this edge right here. All right, man. Feed coming in, picking up right here, feed going out.
So we got to run those wires right now?
I would, yeah, for sure this one, right?
Yep.
And then maybe just a piece of ground or something through that one to make the turn?
Yep.
Okay, let's do that. All right, look at that monstrosity. We got the first one done. It took me and Jordan about half an hour to do this one. What a difference it makes when Rad is not here. We had to put 6 furniture clamps on it. It needed a little persuasion to make this joint right here really tight. We got this cable in. It pulls freely so it's not bound up anywhere. We even put this one through the other holes we drilled. And as I was doing all that, I realized, you know, we said it'd be easier to put in solid posts, but if this were a solid post, that would be a lot harder. So I guess sometimes you just got to weigh all the options, right? If this were a solid post, I would probably just route a groove in it right here, run my wire, and then plug it with another piece of cedar.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could think of doing it. Now that this one's done, let's knock out the other 3. They're gonna go really quickly, then we can put some stain on. All right guys, we got those 2 posts done. They needed a lot of clamps. Not sure why, but that's all the clamps I have. So while the glue sets up on those, we thought we would come downstairs and stain these. But before we stain them, I'm giving them a light sanding with some 40 grit just to knock off all the high spots and the little splinters. All right guys, sanding's going great. I'm gonna continue with that and Jordan's gonna follow me with the stain. Here's our setup. Got the Cabot semi-transparent stain and sealer. This is a base. They tinted it for us called New Cedar. We felt it was the one that had the most transparency. We didn't wanna like color the cedar out there. Water cleanup, and I also got a stain brush and this stain pad. We'll let Jordan experiment, see which one he likes better. And if you can tell right here, we actually put some on here earlier this morning. So it doesn't change the color too much, but it gives us all that protection that we need. We live in a kind of a small town, didn't want to make an hour drive to Lowe's, so I found this at the local Ace Hardware. Thank you very much, Ace, non-sponsored. $55, but well worth it to save myself an hour trip. So Jordan's gonna get set up on that. I'm gonna keep sanding. There we go, guys. We have all stages of construction in our cedar project. We got 2 columns to finish, 2 in clamps, and the 4 downstairs completely done. Jordan, I love the way that pure cedar color looks against the blue and the white. I think we nailed it on the color.
Yeah, you nailed it. I sent you off this morning to go pick that out, and I was like, I fully trust you. So great job on the color selection, Dad.
Well, the instructions were something as close to cedar as you can get. And when I saw New Cedar, I was like, well, that's what we got, right? So
right.
The obvious choice. So what'd you use? Did you use the brush or did you use that pad applicator?
It was the pad. The pad was awesome.
Really?
Yep, really ergonomic, good on the hands, really even, nice, easy application. It's got really tiny bristles, so it digs into the cedar, arguably fills some of the cracks and makes the product smoother overall. So
They
really
look
enjoyed
like
working with it.
They look like a solid post from here.
Yeah, from here.
And we bought a gallon. How much do you think you used? Like half?
Or a little under half a gallon.
So it soaks it up pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll have plenty for the top.
Cool. Let's go finish those last 2 on the right, take the clamps off the ones on the left, and finish upstairs.
Go.
Didn't move at all.
Yep, the one that we glued is our best one.
It's the best one.
Yeah, if you had 2 weeks to burn, you should just glue everything.
And like 60 clamps.
Right.
The nails we're using don't act really well as a clamp, right?
Right.
So, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's nice.
That's really nice. All right, well, this is the nicest post, which is good because it's right outside the door. So
Yeah, these are the ones you're going to be seeing the most because
Yep.
this is where you're going to be like relaxing every evening after we finish building the house, huh? All right, bud, that one is looking great. Clamps are the way to go, guys. And as you can see right here on the top of this one, we drove these shims in between the bar clamp because we had to push this piece of wood that way a little bit just to get this joint perfectly flush. Let me show you over here what a difference the clamps are making in the final glue up of these columns. This is what they were looking like. This is actually the worst one of the whole project. Wouldn't you say, Jordan?
that sucks.
That does. And that's the one you're going to see all the time. Sorry, bud. But this is what it looks like when we clamp it. So let's walk over here to these 2 with the clamps and show you how we did it. I glued up the post. Jordan was inside gluing up this piece. Put glue on both surfaces. Absolutely a must with this soft cedar. We brought the board out here, kind of gave it a test fit, see how it was fitting. On this one, it married to this board really well. So we just went down, I flushed it up, Jordan nailed it off with our stainless steel nails. Then we had a gap right here, and that's when we brought the clamps in and pulled that together this way and flushed it out perfectly that way. So the clamps are going to sit overnight. We'll come back tomorrow and hit this with some nails. On this one, kind of the same thing, exactly the same thing. We had these cedar strips. We had stripped off the post downstairs. We're using those as a clamping pad because I don't want these jaws to dent our cedar. And that works really well, except it was throwing us off because we thought this was the corner of the post and not right there. But these look great, Jordan. Let's get out of here. I got to bring your mom to the airport. Anyways, you get an early day. I'll see you tomorrow. Woo! All right, guys, it is the next day. We're gonna pull all these clamps. Our posts came out great. We're gonna give them a light sanding. I'm gonna put Jordan and Rad on stain duty, and I'm gonna get set up to start installing the posts for our railings. All right, boys are hanging around, haha. Now, when I was downstairs, I looked up and I realized that the piece of cedar that we have on the outside right here is sticking out past. We did that intentionally so that we could trim it off later. Well, I realized later means now because when we stain this, I don't want to have to come back and catch that in. So I'm going to trim it now from the inside corner here. I got my buzz saw. I'm going to trim it off a little or a lot, leaving it proud. Then I got my trim router right up here. I'm gonna grab it, trim the end off. I did the other side already, left-handed, so I know I can do this one right-handed. All you right-handers know what I'm talking about. Here we go. Perfect.
Nice.
There you go.
I'll take it. I'll take it. No, because then you're going to leave it up there and it's going to be gone forever.
You're right. I've actually done that before. While Jordan and Rad are standing, I'm laying out the posts, so when they're done, all three of us can hit this railing and get it done today. So let's talk about post layout. And when I say post, I mean the aluminum post that came with our Envision Decking system. We're gonna have one in the middle here because we're gonna have horizontal aluminum balusters, and this is too long of a span, so we have to put a post in the middle to make up for that. So all I'm doing, I'm centering the middle of this post with the middle of our cedar post. And that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've already drilled the holes for our wires in that corner post in the middle. And number two, if the post is in the middle, it gives us all this room right here because Jordan wants to have some kind of window screening material on the deck, whether motorized or stationary, right, Bud?
Yeah, motorized bug screen. So anybody in the comments who knows anything about that, leave a comment because we have no idea. We would love to know.
That's right. So on this post, I made two center marks, one here. And if you come on down to the ground, I've got two center lines. This is my center line this way, and this is the center line of my deck that way. So all we gotta do now is line those up on our pencil marks. We'll get our square, make sure we're square to the outside of the deck, and that is where the post goes, Bud. So let's walk over here to the corner post, and when I say that, I mean the one against the building. We're fine here. Our horizontal balusters will span that. We don't need one of these. We're going to directly attach our balusters to this post, and I would have liked to attach them to the house, but we didn't for a couple of reasons. Number one, if I was going to attach them to the house, I'd want to attach them to the corner board, but we're too far inbound, so they're going to die into the siding, and that's going to look terrible. So we're just going to put a post there. We have them, so we might as well use them. You can see the blue tape at the bottom. I've already done this one. That's where that post goes. And we left 2 inches between the back of the post and this corner board. And so that 2 inches was inspired by a caulk gun. If we have to get in here, re-caulk that for any reason, paint, touch up, whatever, it's gonna be fine. But it's also less than the 4 inches code requirement for the ball test. So we're gonna have a post here, direct attachment to our cedar post here, all the way around. Can't wait to see it. You guys almost done? I'm ready to put in some posts.
Yeah, what's the ball test?
All right, so 4-inch ball test, great question. So code says the spacing between balusters shall be no greater than 4 inches. It's far enough that allows for visibility, but it's close enough that a child can't fall between them or get stuck between them. In fact, a lot of inspectors carry a 4-inch ball, and they'll go around seeing they can pass it through balusters on a stairway.
Here we see a classic rad.
What?
Classic rad in his natural habitat. Flip-flops, over the edge.
That's it. Look at that, dude. We literally used the last drop of the stain we had.
Nice.
We're getting dang good at using our material.
Nice.
Was there
Look
any
at that.
left?
Yeah.
Yeah, $55 a gallon. Better make use of it, dude. All right, guys, all our cedar columns are done. We got the beam done. It looks great with that Cabot stain. So we can check that off the list, and now we're gonna move on to setting our post. Like I told you before, I was getting them all dialed in while Jordan and Rad were applying the stain, and I got the center one all lined up to go. Had a viewer send us each a pica marker. I love these things. Thanks so much. Thanks to all of you who send us stuff. Sometimes we don't give you a shout out, but we really appreciate each and every one of you thinking about us and sending us cool tools like this. So I'm just gonna get in here with this guy. I'm gonna mark these two. And this one actually has a little special circumstance, so I'm gonna tell you what that is. So I drilled a hole right here. That's where my bolt's gonna go. I got nothing here. So remember, when you're setting your posts, you gotta think way ahead of time. You gotta put blocking there. I'm okay with 1 here and 2 there on this guy. It's gonna be fine. But just remember, you gotta have blocking under there for these screws. We definitely have it on the other 2. So let's get this out of the way, drill some pilot holes, install our first post. Well, I didn't like the sound of that. You heard it?
Yeah.
Nope. What?
Yikes. What are you doing?
Must have caught the edge of it. I felt it, right? When I drilled my pilot hole, I felt the edge. I felt it hit the joist, but it must be right on the edge. Brad, can you go downstairs and look up and see where I was at? I may have to move this thing over just a little bit, but we're still gonna cover. All right, gang, we missed our joist. It's the real world, but we gotta keep going. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna rotate this post 90 degrees, and I'm gonna drill a new hole on this side. What you're seeing right here, they're called jack screws. So we can use them to adjust this and get it perfectly plumb. But they're in my way if I got to drill a hole way over here. So I'm just going to turn this 90 degrees. I already got this marked. It's just aluminum, simple to drill. I'm going to drill a new hole here, and we'll be back in business. Now we're cooking with gas. Guys, we just spent so much time dialing the post in with these jack screws to get it perfect, and then we couldn't get our base on. It's hitting on this side. We tried every different combination. We tried clamping it, we tried tapping it, but it won't go. So I got out my tape measure, and this part of the base is sticking out 1 1/4 inches, and it's 1 1/8 here and on the back, and 1 1/16 over here. So I think whoever welded this in place just didn't get it in the middle. So now that it's all perfect, we're gonna remove it, take it downstairs and shave this off, because we don't want to force this and break these little tabs. So that's what I'm going to do, bud. All right, guys, there's the setup. Now, we did change the blade on our chop saw to an aluminum cutting blade, because from this point forward, the railing, the balusters, everything's aluminum. So guys, if you're cutting aluminum, you got to get an aluminum blade. I know you're cutting it with a wood blade, just like I did for years, because these are pretty expensive, but man, what a difference it makes. All right, here we go, bud. Modifying a post. And no, we're not. Take 2. So easy with the right, that was clean. Look how close I got to those jack screws. But that's it. That cover will go right on there now. So before we set the other posts, we're gonna check them first. Okay? Okay, guys? Okay. Don't let me forget. All right, guys, we are dialed in both sides. And now we get to put the base on. So you guys want to try it as one unit or try to clip it from the bottom?
Try and clip it.
I can already tell that goes on way easier, right? There we go. Beautiful. I heard it click.
Nice.
Nice, guys. All right, 2 more to do, and then we start putting up our railing and our balusters.
We're going to be able to get 4 in this one?
Yeah.
Nice. Good to see you're not slacking on this one.
Yeah, this one's good because we have the 3 2x12s here, and then we actually have that 2x4 flat on the edge, so we got plenty of material to bite into. I'm not slacking on you. So one really cool feature about these Envision deck posts is how you can get them perfectly plumb, even if your deck or your slab is not perfectly flat. We've got these jack screws right here. I know the top of the post has to go towards the building, so I'm going to tighten them. That's going to drive this up and the top of the post into the building, which is what we want. Get them a little tighter, and then you're going to be able to start to see that bubble move. All right, you should be able to see it move on this one, Jordan.
Oh yeah.
That was too much.
Too much?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine adjust, right? It's just a little bit. Let me go a little past, and then when we tighten these, we'll be right there. You like that?
I love it.
Yeah, go for it. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's money.
Perfect.
Wow.
Are we perfect?
We are.
All right. Time to slide on the base cap. Now, guys, we modified that first one, but that's not the norm. The rest of these have been going on just like magic. Check it out. Not going too fast. I don't want to scratch the powder coat, right?
Boom.
It just sits right there. All right, let's put the top on, the little cap. You got it, Red?
Yep.
Little top cap. Perfect, guys. You know what it's time for?
Rails.
Rails.
Let's
get
go.
done. All right, guys, there we go. We got a railing. I bet a lot of you thought we were never going to put a railing up there because you're so worried about us falling off. But that looks awesome. These little covers slide over and cover all the ends, makes it look sharp. And as you can see, we already got our LED wiring in there. It's going to work perfectly. So let's put this one up and show you how we did it. We actually pulled out the lasers. Here's our DeWalt laser. We also have the Bosch. We have a bunch of lasers, and they work great on the porch. But in the last video, we got a bunch of comments. How come you didn't use your lasers to get these aligned? Guys, we can barely see them on this shaded porch. It is so bright out here. There is no way we'd be able to see them if we set them in the backyard and try to project that laser line on these posts. Way too bright. Unless we came here at like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, but no way I'm doing that. You can see this little pencil mark right there. That's the top of our handrail. We also have one here and on the post to Jordan's left. And this hole right here, the center of that 7/8 hole for our LED wiring is 1/2 inch below that line. Let's head over here, make a mark 1/2 inch down, center on the post, and drill a 7/8 hole through this column. I marked the other side of the post, and look what is right on the X marks the spot. There's a nail right at the point of the drill bit.
Out of the whole post.
I got this whole post, and there's a nail right where I want the rail. How unbelievable is that? I can't move the hole, right? I gotta move the nail. So I'm gonna take my diagonal cutters and see if I can dig into this cedar, this soft cedar, and grab the head of that nail. Oh my gosh, I should just go to Vegas, right? What are the chances?
Yeah, but you don't gamble.
That's true.
So maybe you need to. Maybe next time we go.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
That. All right, how long of a nail did we use, guys? Ta-da!
All right.
All right, got all our holes drilled for our LED wiring despite all the nails in our way. We got all the brackets for the handrail up on our wooden post. And if you come over here to the left, we're gonna put one on this metal post. I've already pencil marked where I want it. And if you've never seen a center punch like this, check it out. Line it up in the middle, push, you got to mark exactly where the screw goes. I'll try to put a link in the description for these, but these are a must-have. Makes this job a lot easier. All right, let's drill those, put up the brackets, and we can keep cutting handrail. All right, guys, even though we have self-drilling screws, I'm pre-drilling because I don't want the drill bit to slip off of there, crash, and ruin the powder coat. Just to make it a little easier to put on and keep the finish intact on these awesome powder-coated. Oh, what am I doing? You see what I was trying to do?
Yep.
It's like that tool at the IBS we saw, right? What was that thing?
Oh yeah. All right, guys, behind the scenes development here. You'll see right where rad is, we have a rail missing. We actually had it. That was the first one that we cut. It was really long and we just cut it. It was supposed to go there and we put it over there. So now we're a rail short. So we panic called Envision Decking. They're gonna get one to us as soon as possible. So that rail may or may not be in by the end of this video. Just wanna let you guys know that.
All right, we got all but one of our horizontal handrails in place. So our next step is to put in our horizontal balusters. I say these are in place, they're just sitting there. We gotta take them out again, so they are just sitting. We didn't screw them yet. And we didn't screw them because we have to take them apart again to run all our LED lights. But we needed them in place for the next step. The next step, of course, balusters. So the Envision kit comes with this solid aluminum bar that's intended to be an intermediate support right here under a long section. Originally, we weren't gonna put it in, but we probably will on this one just to get rid of the bounce. These, we don't need them at all. But we're gonna use this to our advantage and let it be a tool for us to lay out our balusters. So I asked Jordan and Rad to come outside and measure from the bottom of the rail to the top of the deck all around and give me an average number. That number was 35 and a quarter. So we were like 35 and an eighth, 35 and 3/8. So we just rounded 35 and a quarter. So 35 and a quarter, we got that number. Now let's customize this tool to help us lay out our balusters so they're perfect. Half a 35 1/4, 17 5/8, I wrote it right there. So on our handrail, we knew we were gonna have 8 horizontal balusters. So I took 17 5/8, found the center. I've got 4 holes on this side, 4 holes on that side, found the center of this bar. Then I went 17 5/8 this way, put a piece of blue tape on it, marked it top, and I cut it at my mark, 17 5/8. On the bottom, I didn't go 17 5/8 from the middle. I went a little more because we didn't want this dragging on our deck and scratching it like that. So it's just a little shallow. The top is what matters to us. So now we can simply go outside, hold this up to the bottom of our rail, get it dialed in on the center, and punch all those holes. How are we gonna punch a hole like that? Well, check it out. Thank you, Rad. I bought a self-centering center punch. 16 bucks from McMaster Carr. Here's how it works. A few weeks ago, I got my digital calipers and I measured the diameter of that hole.
I'm proud of you for saying digital, by the way.
Me too. I got so many comments. It's not a dial caliper. I measured a loose fit, and 21/32 was perfect for me. McMaster sells them in all different sizes, metric, whatever, but that was the perfect size, so that's what I bought. Now what we can do, we can go outside, hold this up to our rail, centered on the post, put this punch in there, and look what it does, guys. It's gonna perfectly center punch the post or the aluminum post. And we actually did some outside. Come check this out. The only thing I don't have is a bunch of deep throat C-clamps to hold this to the post. So it takes me, Jordan, and Rad to do it. I'm holding the top, Jordan's holding the bottom, and Rad's punching. We gotta hold it secure so it doesn't move. But check this out. We already did these. And that's simply where our point is gonna go, our screw for our rails. Now we just gotta do this one, and it's even gonna work over here, right? It's gonna give us a little dimple mark. Oh, I guess we gotta cut the bottom, but that's all right. It's even gonna give us a little dimple mark on our aluminum. So let's finish punching all the posts. We can retire this tool and this one. We'll use it again later.
No, we won't.
You're right. And then, and we start putting in some balusters.
Nice. Nice.
And we're even using the punch on the metal. It's gonna work beautiful. I can already hear it working good.
Oh yeah.
All right, everything is punched. We're ready to pre-drill. I've got an 11/16 bit. I'm gonna use it to pre-drill the wood, like that, and also to pre-drill the aluminum post. We have a stainless steel self-drilling screw for the metal post, and I bought 3-inch stainless steel screws for over here. The reason I bought the 3-inch is because we have that big gap behind our cedar, and we wanted the screw to bite into our post, so it's nice and strong. Let's drill all these, and then Rad can install all the hardware. Instructions say measure post to post and deduct 1 1/4 inches. I'm at 56 3/4. I'm gonna cut my balusters 55 1/2. Need 7 of them. Here we go. It is so cool having these railings on the upstairs porch. And this Envision system, it is so easy. Everything's easy to work with. They've got it all figured out. Now we actually wanted to do both ends. We just got so excited. We want to see some railings up. But on this end, after we put up these horizontal balusters, I stood back to admire it and I made a mistake. I could tell that this baluster didn't line up with the edge of this deck board. I don't know what I did, but when it's 100 degrees, you get kind of a brain fog. You're not thinking straight. So guys, we fixed it and you can't even tell. Here's what we did. We took our base cap off, pulled out our 4 structural screws. We slid the post that way to the right number, the right measurement where it ought to be. And then we plugged the 2 holes that were right here with the plugs from our decking system. And if I didn't tell you that, nobody would ever know that I had to move the posts. So this system lends itself so well to maintenance, changes, and if we ever had to take this railing off, for example, to move in a, I don't know, huge couch, grand piano, we can easily take down this section and put it right back. Simple. Way easier than cable railing, way easier than wood, in my opinion. Speaking of wood, I know you're going to comment about the bases on our cedar post, so we got to crank those out right now. We actually left this baluster off, knowing we got to wrap this. So let's go downstairs, make those 4 bases, stain them, and we'll come back up, keep working on our railing. All of our column bases are done, and they are custom made. In other words, this one is for column 4. The columns were just different enough that we felt like we need to custom make them instead of making them all the same and having a big gap here and a little gap there. We also put little tick marks on the top, pre-assembly, to help me get the edges lined up again. Really simple. And we only glued this joint and this one. This piece right here is temporarily nailed on with a nail there and a nail there. Because what we want to do, we want to send this through the table saw and put a bevel on the top. Let's head over there and see what that looks like. Came out beautiful, and that's why we had to pre-assemble it so we get this nice miter right here. It looks like a miter, but it's actually a butt joint. Let's do the other 3. These things are ready for some stain.
All right, gang, we had to buy another $55 gallon of Cabot just for these little caps. So since we have all the stain, we're just gonna go ahead and coat the entire cap. These are gonna be near the ground, near the deck. All the rainwater is gonna wash off of our posts onto these caps. So we're gonna utilize the stain and we're just gonna coat the whole thing so the whole thing is sealed. Hopefully you're gonna extend the life of these caps. They're looking awesome.
All right, guys, we knocked out some more balusters while the stain was drying. It's dry enough to touch, and they look great, don't they? And the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna knock your block off, son.
What?
No, I gotta knock this block off. Remember the one we just put in a couple of nails? Little tap, tap here, little tap, tap there, and there we go. Pull these out with my diagonal cutters. Now we can slide this on the column and glue and nail the 4th piece on, knowing that all these bevels are going to be perfect. Head outside, get the glue. All glued up, ready to go. Got a little rag here just to protect our deck in case any glue squeezes out on the bottom. We don't want to get glue all over Gordon. Gordon.
That's
not
me.
Gordon, you're
Yeah,
Jordan.
but you just got glue all over my railing right now.
Yeah, I did that on the other one too.
Yep.
And I said, don't hit it again. Can you see it? Here, you get it.
Yeah, why are you?
I got stuff to do.
Why'd you put the gluey rag on a railing that your compulsive desire to just wipe stuff off all the time? No, it's great.
And vacuum stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this one first.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Choking on camera.
All right, got our first post base on there. It looks great. We held it up off the deck about 1/8 of an inch. Remember, we stained this entire piece, top, bottom, inside, outside. It's gonna be awesome. Glued it, nailed it together. Really looks great, really finishes it off. So our next step is to put in our balusters. But the bottom baluster here is gonna be shorter than all these. We accounted for that, but we also have to put one of these way down here on our cap. So guys, we gotta figure out how to get our layout transferred from this column onto our cap so that everything lines up and goes perfectly through our center support. Y'all got any ideas?
Yeah. All right, here's what I think we should do. I think we should make a jig. We're gonna make it out of some plywood. We're gonna go inside, we're gonna take 2 spare of these, lay them on a table, sandwich them in plywood, and then put a little piece on top. Nail through it, so now we have a U shape that perfectly fits over these things. We get the measurement from center to center. We drill 2 holes, and then we line that hole up with this, and now we have our second hole down here with our jig. We put it right here, and it extends over that, and boom. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Make a jig?
That'll work.
Yeah.
I have one too. Okay, I got one. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm pretty confused right now.
Okay, this will be kind of simple. You get a laser, okay, and you mark it the very middle part of your thingy here. So it's going to portray
The middle of the screw, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to portray it over here.
Whoa.
All right,
Check it out, over here.
all right.
And we'll get a level. And then we can have our laser mark right there with our level, and we just push this guy right to the end of that level, and it should be perfect.
What are you guys even talking about?
What?
That gave me a little bit of a
Good
headache.
ideas.
That actually gave me a little bit of a headache. Just listen to that. Here's what we're gonna do. Do y'all see my vision yet?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
What do you think?
That's really good.
That's really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's why he's the boss.
All right, guys, we're going to put on the balusters on this section right here where we have the intermediate post. The directions say to attach one end of the baluster to one of your posts, then slide on your intermediate support that goes in the middle, then slide on your other collar and put it all together. That would work if we had a small post like this one right here, because we could bend this out of the way just a little bit, slide everything on, and it'll be fine. But with this big column, I don't want to bend it way out here and take a chance of bending this or the hardware on the other side. So we're going to thread all 8 of these through the intermediate support first and put it together in one tangled bundle. Here we go. Okay, I'm in.
Okay, sick.
Y'all can get started.
All right.
Do what you do.
Start with the top.
All right, next little challenge. Because of the way we did it, I couldn't tighten this screw till after it was up. Can't get a screwdriver in there, so just got my baby little 1/4-inch socket set. Put a little square drive in there. There we go. Done. Now there's Allen screws all on the back of here. We'll tighten those later. All right, guys, that came out great. How'd it go? No binding or anything?
Nope, it was great.
Perfect. Just always got to trust Dad.
Yeah, but I got a question, Genius.
Okay.
How
Genius,
how
huh?
you doing this? That won't work, man.
Oh, so you're saying we got to add the one here, and I can't get my little jig over these.
Yeah, because we finished it.
We're just going to cut these, and then I can slide it on.
Oh, okay.
I thought you might ask. I got something inside. Be right back. I am going to actually use Brad's idea, but I'm going to modify a little bit. So I got my dot laser. So if you're unfamiliar with a dot laser, shoots a dot out the bottom, the top, both sides, and the front. And they're all perfectly 90 degrees of each other. Got my dot laser set up. I got this one shining right in the middle of the screw. Oh, a little high, but we'll dial it in later. And as you can see on the other side, perfectly level, straight across, there's my dot. We just got to get them lined up in the center of the columns and the posts. We'll be good to go. But that's for tomorrow. See y'all then. All right, guys, it's the next day, Saturday of Father's Day weekend. Let's finish this railing so we can go enjoy the rest of our weekend. We're going to put these bottom horizontal balusters right here. I'm using my PLS 5. If you've never heard of a PLS, there it is. Had this thing for a long time. And by the way, PLS means plumb, level, and square. Kind of a cool name. As you can see over on the right, I've got that laser right in the middle of that screw. So the opposing beam is hitting here, so we know it's perfectly level. Now all we have to do is get this dot in the middle of these so all these balusters line up. I'm just going to use this as a straight edge. You could really use anything, right? A level piece of wood, but this works really well. And it's convenient. What's not convenient is reaching over all these. Not too bad. There we go. Now the middle of those 2 marks is where we put our little threaded connector. And that looks pretty good, guys, doesn't it?
Yep.
Maybe a little bit to the left, right there. Perfect. All right, let's drill that one and get this baluster in. Wow, it looks absolutely amazing, gang. And we got a ton of stuff done in this video. We got all our cedar put up and stained, and we got the Envision railing put up. Big shout out to the folks over at Envision for providing the railing for us. Looks absolutely amazing, and we feel a lot safer. So give them a big W, Envision, in the comments below. Now we do have a couple more things to do on our railing. Obviously the section over here behind Jordan, we'll probably do that off camera. But what we're definitely going to show you and what we're really excited about is the LED lighting in the railing. Now it's not a big strip under here, it's just a little pinpoint here, here, like 8 of them. It's going to be really classy and really sharp. And we've already put the wiring in up here and into our columns. So all we got to do to install the LEDs is lift this top rail and use this channel to install our LED lights. It's gonna be really simple, really quick, and I can't wait to see how that turns out. One other project we gotta do on this deck is the ceiling, upstairs and downstairs. So we're gonna put 1x4 strapping this way, then run tongue and groove pine probably all the way this way. But we don't know what color to paint it. So let us know in the comments, what would you do? We're thinking maybe the same as the cedar, kind of go with a wood look. Maybe paint it the white from the siding up here. We got a ton of that paint left. Tossed around maybe black, but we think that would be too dark. Maybe the light blue that is so common on southern porches, so it looks like the sky and bugs don't nest there. But keep in mind, we're gonna have a ceiling fan here, probably bronze to match these. So let us know in the comments below what you would do for this ceiling and the downstairs ceiling. Are they different? Are they the same? Please comment below, sure appreciate it. So build yourself a nice powder-coated aluminum railing around your like button so you're gonna be safe when you smash it for us. Best thing you can do. Check us out over at bunkerbranding.com if you'd like to get a hold of some stud pack merch. Please subscribe, drop a comment, ask a great question, and we'll see you right back here on our very next stud pack video.